start your voice. So whenever you just like a power your you have to press the escape immediately. If you press the escape, it will display the like bootloader. So which is like a graph bootloader. It is going to be load the OS. So this loading OS process we can manage. So in this graph layer, we have to press the E for everybody. E to enter. Press the E. It is going to be display the like that particular coding related information. Now in this particular case, let us see how to scroll down. So we have a last line, like for Linux line. So in the Linux line, we have a boot also. It's in the boot. It is trying to like build your system. You are going to be like modify this particular command. So it is showing the twice slash script. So it is going to be trying to load the like a login script slash script. Okay, but we are trying to like load the command line interface. Because if you get the command line interface, you can modify the password and you can log into the system. Okay. Now, so we are trying to change to the reader guide, and we are mentioning that INI so forward slash read forward slash. So whenever you mention that which program you want to launch initially, that program is going to be launched. So we mentioned like initialize the program is bash shell. Okay. Now we have to after doing the changes, we have to press the control X. Alright. So we are using control X. So now it is going to be like a load from that customized bootloader command. Okay. As for that customized bootloader command, it is going to be load the command line interface before login. Now, before login, you got the command line interface to the Linux system. So you can use this particular like interface. So you can just like search for the users list in the system. You can find out how many users we have in the users group. Okay. Now grep command you can use to see the list of the users in a group. So in a group configuration part, so users group has a only one user is admin user. Now I always like a hackers want to like a get access into the administrator level user account. Okay. Now we need a, like a service who has a sudo privileges. We need to check that particular group. Now sysadmin user who is a user who has a, like a sudo group privileges. So we can change that guy password and we can log into the system. Now if you want to change the password, you can type the command pass wd space so that user system. Now you can enter the new. So whatever the password you want to enter, you can enter the new password. So password updated successfully. So password updated successfully. Now you can close this command interface and you can redirect the like as you can load the GUI to log into the system. So even if you want to add the backdoor account also you can. For example, you don't want to change that password. Just we have intention to log into the computer, see the files only. In that case, you don't need to like change their password. You can create your own account also. What is the command we use? Add user. So we use the add user. So whatever user you want, like so you can just like create like a user. Now you can just like create the like interesting user. So admin user I'm creating. So this admin user like this created. Now I'm trying to set the password to that admin user. But admin user by default, like you don't have admin level privileges, just user right now. So we need to add this guy to the which group? Sudo group. Same command. Add user, your username. Add. Now you added a user also. You can use that user to log in. Either you can change that existing user password or you can create the new user and you can give admin level access to the new user and you can log in through that user to access all the files in that system, through the any activity in the system. Guys are able to follow me. So once you do all the actions before login screen, and you can just like execute the initializer program. You can redirect to the initializer program. So yes, bit INIT. So default initializer program is like login screen. It will go to the it is going to be like initialize the like default activity. So we just initially initiated like login screen. Now it is going to be distributed. So now you can see the login screen. If we modify the password to the system, you can log in with that. Now you created a backdoor account, you can log in with this. One thing is fine. Okay. So you can simply enter the modified password. So you can just log in to this. Now you can see the system is successfully logged. This process you can apply on any kind of Linux operating system. Any Linux operating system. We have Kali, we have Parrot, we have like a Linux, CentOS, any Linux system. So you can follow this process and you can do that. Clear everyone? Okay, so the last class I explained like all the commands. Like, let me recap quickly those commands. So whenever you open your terminal, so the terminal can help you to the things. You can just operate your complete line system from the command line interface. So you can just so if you get the display change, we change the example. So I remember. So what are the commands we discussed in our last class? We verified that data. So what are the user accounts we have in our system? We can verify ALS /. So that home directory store our users related home groups. Now I have a sysadmin user, admin user. So in case if we add any other user, that user also going to be added. So now if I use like a sudo add user and like a demo user. So now that demo user is going to be added into the system. The demo user is started adding into the system. Now demo user related home directory is going to be created like this. Now you can see that like the series are created. Another new user related home. So all users related home folder you can find in a home path. Okay. And users related information you can find in a etc folder, pass WD file. etc folder, pass WD. So pass WD file contain all user accounts. So we can see that like a user information, like now root user. Root user is administrator user. So their user ID starts with the 0. Now our normal users user ID starts with the 1000. 1000. Now I have three users. Sysadmin user, admin user. Okay, so demo user. So those users are like my current users in the system. So users information we can find in a past WD. Now users password where we can find in the system. So we have a shadow file. If you want to read the shadow file, you need a admin privileges for reading that. Now you can't able to read as a normal user. So we need to add the admin privileges. How can you escalate as admin? So if you use the sudo as a privilege, we can access. Now we can see that like so three users, sysadmin username, user related password hash. So admin user related password hash. Okay. Now demo user password. You can see. So that password hash like really tough to crack because password hash is a salting thing. Now you can see that like so their password like so starting structure looks like the same because I entered same password. I have same password to all those. That is a hint. Password looks like a similar, but hash is completely different because it contains the like a salting password. So really tough to crack the Linux password hashes. Okay. Even hackers steal the password hash also. It's a really tough one. Is it a clear on it? So if you want to see the what are the groups created in our system. So what we are trying to see, we are trying to build the EPC group file. So this is a group directly. So group file we are able to use the all the user related groups in our system. So whatever groups we have in our system, we can see the groups related. Okay, in this particular case. So EPC group file. This is the groups information. Okay. So you can just like read the group related. Now, so this system has a like all type of groups. Now users we have. So users group, three users we have in that group. So pseudo group we have only two users in a pseudo group. You can see that. So groups related information. If you want to add any new group, you can add the group also. Pseudo add. Now I want to add the group name sales. I want to add the like a so group name like a so dev department. So developer department. Now you can see that like those groups are added to the your like configuration part. So your group file contains like a sales department, dev department. Now if you want to add any user to that particular group, just like you are using sudo add user, which user you want to add? Now I want to add the like so demo user to the okay sales group. Now sales is a like a group. Now you can add. Now so demo user is added to the group sales. So you can add. For example, like even you can look into that like added now see the sales group under sales group demo user is there. I want to remove that. Okay, so in the place of like add user, you want to use it CL. So delete user. Delete user. Delete user. Okay, so demo user from the sales group. Now it is this user is removed from the sales. So we can just like verify that. So user is removed from the sales. For example, like I want to uninstall the user. Completely remove the user. So if you want to remove the user, you can use remove process. It means like you just need to mention the sudo dl user and demo user. Now you can just like remove the user tab. So we don't have any evidence except their home directory. See, when you try to remove the any user from your Linux system, it is going to be leave the home folder by default. Now the demo user home folder is left. Whenever you are trying to remove the users, must and should you should mention the remove home command to remove the home folder also. Understand? So you have to mention it. Now I want to remove this admin user. Whenever I want to remove that admin user folder, I need to mention that remove. If you mention this additional option only, it is going to be remove the including home folder. Now see this admin user related home folder also remove. Is it clear? So we discussed in the last class all related to the like users management and groups management. Like so okay, so password changes and all these things. Hope that you got a like clarity about that. Okay. So let's move to the new part today. So we'll discuss about Linux file system management. Linux file system management. How like you can use a command interface to deal with the files and folders in the Linux. So all of you open your Ubuntu machine. So right click on your desktop, open in terminal. Open the terminal. So part of our fundamentals, we need to learn this because like so once you gain access into your victim system, most of the time our hacking tools give the command line interface access, not the graphical interface. So whenever you get the command shell access to the your victim system, you should know that how to see the list of the files and folders they have and how to deal with the files and folders. So that's why you should learn this fundamental commands, this foundation. Clear? Okay, so if you want to like so check your path. If you type PWM, it will print working directory. Check your current directory. So you it should display the desktop. Check you are in the desktop path. Now type ls command. It will display a list of the files and folders. Then we have a files. So if you have any files and folders, it will display to you. If you don't have it, is a empty. I don't have anything on my desktop. That's why I'm going to see the empty. Result is empty. Okay, let's create a folder. You can use the command mkdir, make directory. So you can create the folders with the help of the mkdir. So you can just like us so give us simple like a folder name. So now I given like a folder name hello. Mkdir is created like hello folder. You see the ls, it is displaying the hello in the folder. So mkdir command support multi-folder creation also at a time. That means when you use the mkdir, so you can just give the multiple folder names at a time. So you can just take a so give the multiple folder names, even those folders also going to be. If you give the like a folder name with a space, everything considered as a new folder. Okay. For example, I want to create a folder like a lab tutorials. mkdir lab tutorials. Now tell me, is it going to be create a single folder or double folders? Double folders. That space create that like this double folders. Lab is separate, tutorials is separate. Whenever you want lab tutorials folder, you need to keep your folder name as double. Now lab tutorials are separate. Single folder. Please check all of you. Create some folders with your name, your family member names. Create some folders. So you have to use the mkdir space after that like folder names. So type ls command to see the list of the files and folders in my particular directory. Okay. If you have an intention to create a folder, inside that folder, subfolder, inside that again subfolder, if you want to follow that tree structure, okay. So you can create that type of structured folders also. So you have to use mkdir. mkdir, we have to mention the parent first. What is a parent directory? Now I want to use the parent directory as a one. Inside of that 2, inside of that 3, inside of that 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now it is going to be create the tree structure. Now see this, I can see the only one. Now if I see the like a ls1, okay, inside of the 1. If I see that like a 2, inside of the 2, you can see that tree structure. So folder, subfolder, subfolder, subfolder like that. Okay. You can see that tree structure. As I able to follow this. It means if we have to create the own structured folders like this. You can build the structure folders also in this part. So MKDR allow us, so you can just like a treat one folder as a parent and remaining folders as a child. As such, you can mention that. So for seeing your structure, tree structure properly, better to use a tree command. So when you type the tree command, it will display the tree structure, but tree command is by default not installed in our Linux system. So you have to install that command. So how you install the command, like any command, package, sudo, apt install. Okay, so you can just install that package. So just install the package. So install the C command, tree command package, sudo apt install tree. So whenever you need any extra commands, use it. Like so you can install those packages by using sudo apt install space package. Okay. Now let me like us to clear my screen and type the tree. See that? So tree structure of your computer. Okay. Now see the like a structure. All those are the same directory in a desktop. But this one is inside of that. Inside of that, you can see the like a structure. So it's a clearly indicating that like a so there is a substructure. So yeah. So tree command. Actually, the many movies like a so to record the hacking related work sequence, they use a tree command. So they use a colorful German. So they will run a tree command. Let me show you my system has a color. So they will type the command tree and like a power source, which is going to be displayed. Now this is what happens. So they will record the call as a few seconds and keep the packet is doing something in a movies. There is a fine. So tree command can display the like a tree structure of this specific directory. Now for example, I want to see the tree structure of my home folder. Now I can mention the like a so home folder part. Tree home. Now in a home directory level, tree structure will display. Now my home folder, I have like a sysadmin. So in a sysadmin, I have like a desktop. Inside of the desktop, I have those folders. Complete structure it is. So you can use a tree command to see the structure of the your folders and their subfolders and their directories. Is it clear? Yeah. Okay, so let's check all the folders created by you. We'll remove them like a tree command, like we found that like now I want to remove the like a folders. We have an RMDIR command to remove the empty folders only, not folders with a content. Empty folders only can remove with the RMDIR. So if you use the like RMDIR command, you can just remove the empty folders. Just like that, try to remove the empty folders. Now, so RMDIR. Now you can just mention. Now we want like a remove the specific folder. So now I want to remove the like a lab folder. Now that particular lab folder is removed. So lab folder is removed from the list. So previously we have a lab folder. Now lab folder is removed. You can remove the multiple folders also. Okay, so let us like remove like multiple folders also. So I have those many folders. RMDIR. Now I want to remove the like a folder H4 H5. Now you can see that like H4 H5 is removed. Just like a normal mkdir command. How mkdir command is allowing us to like create a single folder or multiple folders. Same way you can delete the single folder or multiple folders. You can remove that. Okay. So even like one more interesting thing in our Linux command Linux, you can just use the while part. Prefix or suffix factors you can use. Now I want to remove the like folder. It is starting with the H. Now we have H1, H2, H3, hack and hello. All those folders are going to be erased now. So pattern basis. You can mention the prefix or you can mention the letters. So anything starting with H or anything ending with the H. So start H or H start. Like that. So you can mention the prefix. So suffix. Now see this all are there. Now, if you want to delete the like a folder with a like a lengthy folder name, already I told you, you are using a double quote to create a right. Same way, when you are removing also, you have to use a double quote. So, last photo. Now I have a that is fine. Okay. So please try to remove your directories and one more thing, sorry. So when you want to like remove this kind of tree structure, so we have this kind of tree structure, right? Folders, subfolders, okay, so subfolder like that. If you want to remove it, how you created mkdir hyphen pm, right? Say rmpm hyphen p. So you have to mention the complete the all folder. Now it will erase that. So you don't have anything. Erase the remote. Okay, everything is. So please try this. So please try to let go of the rmpm command. Remove the directories, whatever you created. Once not created properly. See, we're giving this for us. First, instead of the one, two, instead of that three, instead of that four. How it will create. So when you are removing also, same. So you have to create a question. So use the mkdir command. MKDR. So whatever folder you are trying to remove, first of all check that folder you created or not. So if you without creating that, if you try to remove, you will get the folder not found error, right? Now you will get it. Yesterday Sunday. First create a folder. Later remove the folder. If you directly use the remove folder, if there is no folder name, you'll get there. So that's like a MKDR for creating directory, RNDR for removing directory. Okay, so if you want to create files, you can use the command empty file if you want to create files. Now, so just like you can just create like any file. Extra file I'm creating sales.txt. Touch will create the empty file. So you can create the like a empty file that on the touch part. Even you can use an inbuilt command like test editor also for creating file and writing some content and saving that. So use the like a so inbuilt test editor command. Now I'm using like a so file name sam.txt. Nano space sam.txt. Nano is a inbuilt command like test editor. So you can use that command. So you will open that test editor within a command code for you. Okay. So you can just like write whatever you want. You can just like write whatever text you want. Okay. After that, you can just like use Control X. If you say the Control X, it will ask for the save. So it will ask for the save. Just to press the yes, Y, and press the enter. Now it is saved. You know the cat command already. You can verify that. Okay, so sam.txt. Save. So good morning. So whenever you want to create the file, search for the empty files. But Nano test editor you can use to create the file and like write the content also. Okay. So you can just like update the content. So you can read the content. You can delete the content. All those operations you can do. So now so so create some file and like write some message. Check your you can just create the file and write the message. So use the nano space file name. So you can use a .exe as the extension for the text files. So write the message nano file name. So file name. That so nano. When you want to save your file, like you have to use the Control X. When you use a Control X, okay, nano text editor, it will ask to save yes or no. Okay, so just press the Y, and after that it will show you the file. You can enter. Yes.
ఇంకొకసారి చూపియరా
So we have to like use the nano. Okay, nano space file name. Now which file you want to like open? Which file you want to create and write the content? So use the nano as a like a tool. Nano is our test editor. Sam.txt I'm using for the file name. Now press enter. So it will open the test editor to you. Okay, you can write whatever content you want. You can edit whatever content you want. Okay, so after writing the content, in the bottom it is showing the options to you. Allow me, please observe the screen. In the bottom we have options. Like you can see the option exit. What is that? X. You have to press the Control X for the exit. For example, you want to like search for something. Okay, you can just like search for this something. Like that, we have options like the replace, space, justify, go to the specific line. Like that, we have a lot of options there. So most common option we use will open the file and write the content and will exit from that file. Right? For exiting purpose, we have to use Control X. Control X. Now it will ask to save the modified buffer. So you have to like a save. Do you want to do the changes? Yes. If you don't want to do the changes, no. Just I'm saying yes, God is saving them. Now it is showing the file name. What is the file name? Save file. Do you want to create the copy? In that case, you can give the new file name. Older file creating a copy. Okay. So you can just like save it to the same file. In that case, save file. So Nano is a simple text editor you can use for creating a file, writing a content through the command and interface. Clear? So please try. Create the 2-3 different files. The Nano, write some messages. So I hope that all of you doing practice in your Ubuntu machine.
Please do it.
సార్ సామ్ డాట్ టీఎక్స్టీ అనేది ఫైల్ నేమ్ కదా మనం
Yes.
ఇప్పుడు అదే పెట్టాలన్నా సార్ ప్రతిసారి మెసేజ్
Use any file name, ma'am. So
Not Sana Paisa, Shama. Ram Charan, Ram Charan. Use any file. Yeah. So once hacker gain access to the victim's computer, if he decided to write something in that computer, so
you I noticed it.
or if you want to read something or update something, so you should know who is the so the attacker perspective. You are learning
now.
Attacker perspective, you are learning fundamentals. Okay. First, if you are comfortable with the fundamentals, next we do the attack. That's it. Yes, it is saved. So whenever you use a cat command, if it is displaying your message, so it is saved up, right? Yes, right. Now, if you want to edit the file, open again. Nano file name again. So edit which line you want to edit, which line you want to correct it and save again. Yeah. This is a text editor. You have a notepad in your system, Windows or Mac. Just like that, command and interface text editor. You can do whatever changes you want to that file. Okay, so I have a few files in my desktop. So please check we have a files and folders in your desktop or not. So even please check that three command, free, home, sysadmin. Please check that three command. Your home directory, sysadmin home directory. If you check that, it should display the your created files and folders in your desktop. Now see this, you can see that I have a few files and folders in my desktop. Under home directory, sysadmin has a desktop folder. Inside of the desktop folder, I have few files. Please check your file system structure. So scroll up and see that where we have your files. So we have a files in your desktop. Okay. Now I have files in my desktop, and I want to like a copy to the my downloads, or I want to move to the my documents. How can we do that? Let's do that first. Okay. So if you want to copy or move and rename kind of operations, you can do it directly. So by using three commands. So let's do that. Now I have a sales.txt, sam.txt kind of files. Okay. Now I want to like a copy the sam.txt to the downloads of the my computer. Downloads. So what is my path? Home, sysadmin, and downloads. That is my destination. So what is my source path? Home, sysadmin, desktop, sam.txt is the one. Yes. we have to simply mention the copy path. CP, source path and destination. So what is my source?
Source O.
Sysadmin, desktop, sam.txt. So sam.txt is my source. Now my destination path also I need to mention. So my destination path, home, sysadmin, downloads. These are my path. Now press run. So now it is in copy data. Let me. So we have a copy. sam.txt copy that downloads. Please create whatever file you have in your desktop, try to copy to your downloads. Follow the structure. CP is a command. Source path and destination path. We have to mention. See, Linux is a case sensitive. If your file name is uppercase, you should give the uppercase. If your file name is a lowercase, you should give the lowercase. So desktop is a capital D. If you give the like a so lowercase d, don't accept. Okay. Downloads, desktop, documents, all are started with a like a first character is like uppercase letter. So first of all, see the tree structure of your Linux file system, and after that, like identify the path. So is it the copied or not? Verify. Copy your file to the documents and downloads. Do that. Is it a copied or not? Check your files copied or not. So you have to put the capital D. Okay. So if you don't mention the syntax, the folder name, file name properly. So you don't copy one. Linux is case sensitive. Spelling is really important. So hackers, once they gain access into the victim system, whenever they want to steal the data, whenever they want to copy the data, they use this kind of methods. So they will try to copy the data. Now, so in the computer, we found like in our folder, there is some company project files. So that guy can use the CP command to copy those files to one place. Data collection process. After copying all those required files, he will compress them. He will zip that code. Okay. Then you will upload that folder to his exfiltration. So hackers they do the data collection and data exfiltration. So you should know like what are the commands they use. See, same commands you can find in a logs. When you are doing like a work as a staff analyst, that you are trying to look into the logs of that. In that logs you can find the like a command history. So whatever command they included. By seeing the command, you can understand the motive of the thing. Now, if you don't know what is the CP means, are you able to investigate the case? No. So that's why I'm trying to teach you the command. So it is a use for the so some operations also. Not only attack and password. So defender, forensic expert password. Please check you are able to copy the files. See, when you are trying to copy the file, even you can say the name also. So do you want to change the file name? You can change the file name. Now I want to like so I'm trying to copy to the downloads. sam.txt. I want to save this one with the name Samantha. Content is saved. Only file name is going to be changed. Now you can see that like a Samantha. So you can rename also. When you are copying that, you can rename, but content is same. Got it. Okay, so I want to move the file. sam.txt, I want to move to the documents are like a music or anything. So you have to use the command name mv move mv. Now we have a file in a home folder, sysadmin folder, desktop path. So file name sam.txt. Now I want to move this one to the home folder, sysadmin folder, So documents. Now you can see that like so I don't have a file in a desktop. Samback case is not available in a desktop because it is moved to the documents. Now Samback case is moved to the documents. Let's try with the move command. So move command, mv command help you to move the files. So you can move the files. Remember the structure. Forward slash home is a home directory. After that, our user, which user you log in? That is a path. After that, only your folder names are going to be changed. So forward slash home, forward slash sysadmin, forward slash desktop card, download documents. That might be. So you see source path and destination path. If you don't provide right path, it will go to the wrong place. Okay, files ni copy చేస్తున్నప్పుడు మూవ్ చేస్తున్నప్పుడు పాత్ అనేది కరెక్ట్ గా మెన్షన్ చేయాలి. If your source path and destination path is the same, mv command treated as a rename command. Now mv you are using move. It is treated as a move command normally. So when you have a different source path, different destination path. But if your source path and destination path is same, mv is treated as a rename. It means like let's understand. I have a file in my desktop, sales.txt. Okay. Now mv home folder, sysadmin folder, desktop, file name is sales.txt. Now my same path, okay, so same path, destination, desktop. Now source path and destination path is same. It will treat as a rename. It will treat as a rename. So you can just like a provider like a so any file name, okay. Now you can see that like that folder file name is mv command. Clear everyone? So anyway, create some file in your desktop right now. So create new file, create one folder. We'll copy that file to the folder. Then we will move the folder to the home folder. Another areas. So file copy is easy. Folder options are going to be changed a little bit. We'll talk about the folder movement. So you got the idea, right? You can copy the file, you can move the file. Same way you can copy the folder, you can move the folder also. Let's do that. Create one sample file in your desktop. So create one folder in your desktop. So I'm creating a folder named sample. So I have a folder named sample. Okay, so I'm creating like a sample.txt for the sample test purpose. Now, so I have a file, saving that file. Now I have a sam.txt. I'm moving the sam.txt to the sample. You know that? Let us say the move. Okay. See, my source and destination in the same folder. I'm already in a desktop file. I don't need to provide the complete path also. I don't need to provide the complete path. Direct explanation. Sam.txt and sample folder. That's it. Now it is good. Because you are in a terminal is the right path. Terminal in a desktop, files also in a desktop. So you can move there, you can copy there, okay? And just do that. Create one file. So create one file and move that file to the like one folder. So now that folder has a file. We'll try to copy that folder with the files to the other place. We'll try to copy that folder with the to the other place and move that folder to the other place. Command is same, you will get a little bit problem when you are trying to like copy the folder. So we need to understand that how to copy the folder, complete folder to the some other directory. So file copy and like a file move process is a easy. So copy for the folder need an additional option. I will show you the additional option. So first of all, create the one folder, copy the file to that folder. We'll move that folder directly to the some other directory. We'll copy that folder to some other directory. We'll check that copying folders and copying moving folders. See, you can see that I have a sample folder with a stamp.txt file. Now my desktop. Now I'm trying to copy this folder to the my downloads. Now cp home sysadmin desktop sample. Now destination path home sysadmin downloads. See, when you run this, you are getting a error. cp command don't encourage you to copy the folder of the one folder with the files. So it's like a structure there. Inside of that folder, there is some files. If you want to copy the structure as it is, if you want to copy the structure as it is to the some other place, you need to mention the hyphen r. Hyphen r you need to mention. Hyphen r. Yes. So whenever you are using cp for the folders, you need to mention the after cp hyphen r option. This is a recursive option. Okay. So whatever structure you have, that structure as it is, copy to the other place. Only cp command requires. Only cp command requires. Arthamaitunda? So move command don't require this. Only cp command requires. Okay. So we are trying to copy the structure of that folder as it is to the downloads. Okay. So please check that it is a copy that. Now you can see that like a slide copy. So sample folder is copied to the downloads folder. Clear? Please do it. So as per our schedule, we need to finish the use files and folders management process. Tomorrow class, I will show you how administrators set up the servers, how hackers gain access to the servers. Now we are comfortable with this topics. So if you get the remote control to your victim system, the first problem is if you get the remote control, you should know how to control that through the command line interface. That's why you need to learn those. You should know like how to read the files, how to copy the files, how to move the files, okay, how to manage the users, how to like get into the administrator level user or administrator level applications. This foundation is very important. Okay. See, for example, your terminal is stuck in some other directory. You want to come back to your home folder. Just type the cd and enter. Series enter. change directly to the home folder. Default. And for move, you don't need anything. Like so, move just like a normal file. Movement move just like a file move. How you are moving your file, same way it will work for you. Okay. So when you are moving file, okay. Now I want like us to move. So this sample folder to the documents. Now MB. So source path home, sysadmin. So desktop. See, do you really require to mention this one when you are already in a desktop? You don't need. Directly can mention the folder name also. But I'm trying to show you the standard structure. Source path and destination. So even directly can mention that you already in a desktop. We have a direct access to the sample folder. You can mention like this. You can mention your desktop, your destination path. Now my destination path is a document. Now it is so you can just let us see that it is more successful. So source path and destination path is a really important. You are in a like a downloads, but you want to copy or move from the desktop part. Now you completely mention the complete source path and destination. But you are already in a desktop. You have already files there in a desktop. Desktop to home folder you are changing. Desktop to like some other folder you are changing. You can directly can mention it. You don't need to mention the complete source because already you are in a source only, right? Your terminal path is in a source only, right? So like that. So just like a source and destination path is a really required properly. So if you are in a terminal in a right path, so you don't need a complete path, just like a path, you just that particular folder name file. Clear everyone? So now I can see that like a sample folder is done. Otherwise, so please try to move the folder. MB command. Now we'll set up the server and we'll discuss like how hackers create the phishing pages, how they deploy their
Board server.
Okay, so create any at least one or two files per desktop. We'll discuss about delete. Okay. Now I already have a sales.txt file. If I want to remove that file, RM. RM for remove. RM directly for empty folder. RM for the file. RM space icon R for the folder. Now, for example, like I have a folder. Now, this tutorial is an empty folder. I can remove because it is a tutorial is an empty folder. I can remove. It is a remove. Okay. For example, I have a folder. I have like a file. Like I'm moving to the hacker folder. Now I have a file. Touch. Hello.txt. Now let me go back. CD double dot is parent directory. We'll go to the previous folder. CD double dot parent. Also, I'm in a desktop. I created a hacked folder. I moved to the hacked folder. CD hack. Now I created one more file. CD double dot. I came back to the desktop. Now see that like so we have active folder. That active folder is not empty. It has a file. So now if I try to use the like a remove directory command, it is not empty. So it will show you the error. That's my point. RMDIR command only remove the empty folders, not folder with the command. So you have to use the RM only for it. Okay, in case if you use the RM, you don't want that. -R is required, recursive. How you use like a copy, -R. Same way, remove RM, -R. So recursive. RM space, -R space. Now it is ready. Is it clear? Let's try. Understand how to remove the files and folders with RM command. Okay, na? So, did you understand the process of like creating texture files? Okay, deleting the texture files, creating folders, removing the folders, copy, move, rename operations. So those are primary options. Yes, hope that you got the idea. Okay, let's do one thing right. So we are going to be enable the services. See, administrators in their computers, their server machines, they enable the service. Whenever that service is enabled, now it is a server. It will become server. It means other computers can discover that computer as a server. So other computers can access that server and they can retrieve the resources. Now hacker's favorite target is server only, am I right? Okay, let's understand managing services points. Point out. Okay. So we'll enable the one service which is a web service. Website. Okay. Now all of you run the command to enable the website in a web server service in your computer. So we have to install the sudo apt install Apache. This is like a web service software. Now your system is like not accessible to the anyone till now because your machine Ubuntu machine is client till now. Now we are making our Ubuntu machine as a server. Apache software we are installing, making our system as a web server. అర్థమవుతుందా? Okay, now let's run that. Install the Apache. So after installing Apache 2, please set down your parent. I will show you. Okay, you are getting 404. In case if you get the 404 not found error, if you get this red color, it means your APT tool is not up to date. Before running this, what you need to do? Sudo apt. Please update APT tool once before installing anything. That is a primary logic. We discussed in our class. So before installing any tool, update APT tool once. After that, your installation command will work properly.
Up to date.
I did.
I click on APT update next.
Use the APT update. Sudo APT update is required. So if you want to make your system as a web server, so you have to like sudo apt update first. After that, install the Apache web service. This is going to be like a convert your system as a web server. Do you want to enable the remote access on your server? For example, administrator want to like a configure like a server remote from the remote location. They will enable the remote access services or not? Do you think administrator go to the server room every day? No. Server in America is in America, is able to access how? Remote access. Okay. They enable the SSH. You can install the SSH also. Sudo apt install SSH. Please install that also. You already know the logic. You don't need to run the two commands, two packages at a time. You can install na. Single command or can run also. So install the services. Now I'm trying to enable the services. apt install Apache. I hope that you are compatible with the apt command and all those because we already discussed almost 2 days on that. Apache. Apache. What is it? Just be converted your Ubuntu machine as a server. Okay. Now if your installation is done, okay, so set up your machine, power up your machine, or you don't need to power up. Let me show you the settings. You need to change your internet settings, but better to power because we need to change the MAC address also to our machine. Power up your virtual machine. Power off your Ubuntu virtual machine after installation. Okay. Cases So we have to change the settings. What are the change settings? We have to change network settings. Because your system is server now, others in your network want to access your server. Even if you want to check from the other computer, you can access the server machine. You need to connect to the network. So we need to change the network settings. Go to the your virtual box manager, change your network settings. What is the like a network? Whatever network you are using doesn't matter. Change to the bridge adapter. Change to the bridge adapter. In the bottom there is a MAC address. Refresh that MAC address. It will like generate the new MAC address. All of it please do that. Open your virtual box manager and select the bridge adapter and like refresh the MAC address. Randomize that. Okay. MAC address, random MAC address to generate in a virtual app. Okay. But if you use the same MAC address, IP address conflict will get. So please refresh. Okay. Now start your machine after that. Just change your adapter settings. Bridge adapter, refresh the MAC address, and after that start your machine. Your server is running properly. Your server will get the IP address from our Wi-Fi router. Your Wi-Fi router. That IP address you can access from your main system to see website is running or not. Remote access service enabled or not. Okay. When your machine is running, you can't able to save. Machine Ubuntu machine running ఉన్నప్పుడు మార్చలేని settings. Please power off your Ubuntu machine. Then change the machine
Mission settings. Yes, sir.
Trying to install Apache too, but it's taking, still
So what is the error you are getting?
it's so it's saying waiting for cache lock, could not get lock, and it's still running.
Yeah, so that it means like Apache is all APT tool is running already used by some other service. So please power off your virtual machine and change the settings and later start again and run the command for installation. Now you can check your IP address, IP space A. Open terminal, type the command IP space A. You can check your server IP address.
Yes.
It will start with a 192.168.6. Now my IP address, my server IP address is 192.168.0.248. Who are in my Wi-Fi? Open your browser in your main system. Who are in my Wi-Fi network? Open your browser in your main system. Access that IP address 192.168.0.248. You can get my web server is running on there. If you type your IP address, you will get your IP address. Check your IP address. Website is running in my server right now. That web page you can see. Now check your server IP address also. You can see your web server homepage. మీకు వచ్చిన ఐపీని చెక్ చేయండి బ్రౌజర్లో ఫ్రమ్ యువర్ మెయిన్ సిస్టమ్. వస్తుందా అందరికి? Able to access your server Ubuntu server IP address in your main system. You will get your Ubuntu server Apache default page. Access me IP address access server
IP address me.
మీ సర్వర్ లో రన్ అవుతున్న అపాచే సర్వర్ హోమ్ పేజ్ వస్తుంది చెక్ చేయండి. So try to use the HTTP protocol. Mention the HTTP protocol before typing the IP address. http://92.168.0.228 for me. And I need to continue to the site. My server is displaying my website homepage. Okay. You enable the services on it. You can see the website. Just like this, Facebook web server, Instagram web server, Google web server, they enable like this. We didn't upload the source code. They will upload the source code. That source code is visible to you. whenever you access their website. So web server, like they will enable the service. They will place the source code in that service, server service, and we can see that particular. Clear everyone? Okay, so in your Windows machine, all of you open your command prompt in a Windows machine. In your Windows machine, open your command prompt. Did you open the command prompt? Now, so type the command. So SSH space sysadmin space. Okay. SSH space sysadmin your IP address, your server IP address. In the place of IP after in the place of IP, enter your server IP address. So your server IP address. Just 192.168.0. or 1. something you have on right? Your system IP address. Type that IP address. So type that IP address. Your server IP address. Or type that server IP address. Command. You have to do this from your main system. Your Ubuntu is a server. You are trying to take the remote access on the server. Okay, from your main system. So check you are able to remotely connect to the server. So SSH. SSH server is running on your server. You have to enter the IP address. Please enter the IP address properly. So you have to say yes for the connection. Now it will ask your system password. What is the password of your server? Enter that password. Now you will get the shell access. Enter the server password. Check your IP address. Enter wrong IP address. 070. Server IP. You know what it means? Like it will give the remote access to the server. Yeah, so now our web server is running on Ubuntu machine. That web server is remotely accessible to the anyone in this network, right? You know your Wi-Fi network, anyone can access your server remotely. They can simply type the command SSH. Okay. They can enter that username. So now sysadmin username of my server, and I'm typing the server IP address. Now it is going to be asked for the yes or no question. Yes. Now once you enter the password of that server, you are in that server. You have a command line remote access. Run any command, it will work for you. Check who am I, ls, pw, all commands work for you. Got my point? So now to get the remote control on the server, what you need? You need IP address of the server. You need a username of the server. You need a password. Got my point? Now, as a hacker, what I do? I can find out your server IP address when I scan my network. When I scan the network, I can find who are connected to my Wi-Fi network. Now your server is running in my network. In case if I connect to your Wi-Fi network, if I scan the network, I can find your server IP address. Alright. Second, I can perform the brute force attack on the to find the username password. Now, if I know the server IP address, if I know the username password, I'm in that server or not? I will show you the trick tomorrow. How to do the brute force attack, how to gain access into the anyone's server. You to understand the process. Administrators, they will enable the servers. In that server, they enable the remote access service. That is used by the hacker. You know, SSH is the most popular remote access service used by the administrator worldwide. Now, hackers, if they want to hack any server, first they will check the server has a remote access services. Just if I know the IP address, I can scan that IP address. It has a remote access services enabled. Later, I can do the attack. So I can gain access into that. Got my point? Okay. So we are going to follow that process. In our tomorrow class, I will show you. You know, after tomorrow class, you can do the practice live. Also, yourself, your own risk. Worldwide, how many people enabled SSH kind of remote access on their servers? You can see in a hacker's favorite searching Soden. The Soden is like a hacker's searching to find the computers, internet connected devices. Okay. Now search engine for internet of everything. Now see this worldwide how many people enable SSH. Have like a 3 crore plus IP addresses. Now if I want gain access, simply I need to take that IP address which is running. So this is the IP address. They are running multiple ports. So hackers simply like us use this one. IP addresses. They simply like a select the which IP address, which server they want to hack from this. Now it is running. Now you have an IP address. So with this IP address, now hacker will do the brute force attack on this server. So if they want to get the access to that server, they are simply going to do the brute force attack. With the brute force attack, they will find the credentials and they will gain access into the server. So we use the like SSH charger like a backdoor. We can use SSH used by admin for the remote access, but same SSH used by the hacker as a backdoor. Okay. Now like so we can enter into the server by typing the server IP address. We need to find this valid credentials first. This we need to do the brute force attack. So now connection is required. So if you get the connection, if you do the brute force attack, you can log into the server. Okay. So hackers find out like servers first. Okay, I will show you in a tomorrow class.